found. There we go. Okay. Going to be explaining, actually I'll stop my share screen so that I can just introduce us. We're just going to be working on how to get a mix and match set made from a Wikidata property that doesn't have one already. We have already chosen a particular property that we're both interested in, and so I'll share this particular set with you. Here we go. So it's called the Queensland Biota ID, and it is a property already. So the property proposal has already gone through. There are some examples that are already matched, and the crucial property here, this source for the website, is already available, so we can go there and find any particular item, I guess. So for example, we could go into animals and birds and sort all the way down to find the particular Australasian data page that we want. So that is an example of a page. It has a bit of information there, and we'd like to associate this identifier with the Wikidata item about the Australasian data. So Australasian data, for example, we ultimately would like to do this and add a property called the Queensland Biota ID, and we're going to get that, oops, no, not that. We're going to get that number from the species, this species here. Thought I'd already copied it. And that's the kind of matching that we're going to ultimately do. But we want to do it on a massive scale because they have tens of thousands of species in this database. Yeah. And so obviously we're not going to be able to do that all one by one. So if we go right back up to the species search page, or even higher, I guess, we can just look around at the database just to make sure we know what we could find. Notice that they do have some kind of search or listing procedures. So here it says that we could request a species list. It'd be lovely if we could request the entire species list, but I've gone onto their page here for requests, and I've already tested this out. I tried sort of requesting as large possible range as I could, so covering the whole of Queensland, defined by coordinates or something like that. Turns out they need a fairly specific small range, so that wasn't going to work. I was going to have to do hundreds of them to get the whole area. So that kind of list wasn't available. Perhaps they've chosen not to give that out. The other thing that they have done is made some APIs available. So I'll show you that as well, because we may actually, so this is the species lists are accessing data from the WildNet database. And it turns out this thing has a bunch of APIs. Here we go, the Queensland Wildlife Data API. And we may actually make use of those tonight. We'll get to exactly what we do later, but notice that these APIs provide a range of different formats and a range of different types of search. So for example, you can get all the kingdom names with a particular API call. So here we go, let's try that. Let's get XML for all the kingdom names. And you notice there that it tells us that this database covers animals and bacteria and fungi and plants and protists and protists. So that's great. It's a very broad database. That was a short list. We could potentially programmatically get all the kingdom names and then feed that into a later a secondary API. So for example, the class names are then the next category down. Notice that for class names, it requires a mandatory kingdom. So in order to use this API, you have to choose which kingdom you want to do to get all the class names, and they're given some examples. So here, I guess we can get all the classes of animals. There they all are, but we needed to feed in animals. So in a sense, we're going to have to hierarchically feed in all of the answers to that first query to get this second query, and then all of the answers to this second query just start getting family names, which is the third type of, I think somewhere there is family names, and then eventually you can do species names as well. So that way, that system might be what we end up doing. I haven't sort of figured out what the plan is tonight. So this is pretty normal to come in and kind of look at the data first, because ideally, if we could actually get a full complete list in advance of identifiers, names, and descriptions, that's all we need for mix and match. So if we could get a CSV spreadsheet of all of that information, we could basically just paste it into mix and match. And so that method is tantalizingly close in this case. Another interesting one here is get species by ID, right? So these ID numbers that we are going to eventually use, if you knew an identifier, then you could get their species details. So let's try that. Let's do an example. Oh, I guess they've just given us 4 different examples.
Yes, I'd hoped actually that might just be sort of, 1 to 7,000, a bit like Wikidata, just sequential, but it's not.
Right, good intuition.
Because then I could just go 10,000 and it would grab out whatever matched to it, and that would be fabulous. And I had a crack at plonking in the odd random number, between 2 numbers that I found. And when I did it, I didn't actually get any species at all. So whatever their technique for numbering is, it certainly isn't sequential like Wikidata.
Okay, good point. Yeah, so that's a great test to do. I was about to do something similar. So you've already confirmed, it's not every number is filled. So this number, 686, gives us lots of information about this particular species. All we really want for the matching is probably the identifier, the name, and then some kind of description, a short description.
Why do we need a description, Kirby? I don't follow, because we're matching on the taxon name.
Okay, let me show. Oh no, wait. Let me show you what a mix and match set looks like. So here are some mix and match sets, for example, and we'll go to one like that's already, so like New South Wales flora, for example. So this is this is a mixing set that we've already done, a mix and match set we've already done, and it actually is almost fully matched already. So this one's maybe not a great example, but anyway.
No, it's still be good. It's the one that was matched.
When we go in here, what we're given on each line is a set of information. So the hash, well, no, don't worry. So this is a link to the item itself, and notice in the URL down the bottom, you might see there's an identifier in there, Drosera lunata, with a tilde in it. But then the title is here, and then it needs some kind of description so that the human matchers, anyone who comes into mix and match to do some matching, can see what that thing is. There's the name, but what is it? And it's a species of plant. So that's a very simple description. We could, in our case, if we had to put a description on this one, we might, for example, say that it is there's a family name, or there is a family common name. So we could say, this is an Australian water frog, for example, or like it's from the family of Australian water frogs. Or we could even give its accepted common name. This is the Wallam froglet, which is a member of the family of Australian water frogs. In any case, I guess my point was that we don't need all of this data down here. There's a lot of information there. That's great. They've got their own probably kind of copyright text in there where they've described the item and so on. Actually, speaking of copyright, I think I saw that this whole database is actually CC by licensed, so they need attribution. So if we were to copy some of this text, we could copy it into things like Wikipedia, but for Wikidata, we want it to be completely free, so CC0, And so we won't be using massive chunks of their text. We'll just literally just be taking the facts out of this.
Yeah,
So,
a common name would do for these things. A common name or the family would be fine, I think.
Yeah.
That will distinguish between animals and plants, and whether it's a spider or, you know.
Okay.
Because I actually really only want to get it at species level. At genus level, typically this is pretty useless. It puts in it puts in stuff for genus, but actually they'll typically say there is a Drosera species that is in Queensland, and so it says Drosera sp.
Yes.
Really means not that it's the genus it's talking about, but there is a Drosera in Queensland that is also whatever. It's so uninformative that none of that stuff with where a plant is only identified to species, or an animal is only identified to species, is useful. So it needs to be at least to species level or subspecies level, and all of those will be fine.
Okay, let me just show an example of that, just so that those following along can see it. So did you say you knew where one was?
I think I got some
let's just go into some plants.
Malvaceae. If you do a search on Malvaceae, search by family name, for example, just go Malvaceae, and it will bring up, say, 300 examples or something. So just here in Malvaceae. Oh, hang on, we needed a genus. Try Cedar, S-I-D-A.
Let's try M-A-L. Let's see what.
No, try Cedar, S-I-D-A, because
S-I-D-A. Okay.
Okay, search.
Okay, and
now somewhere in there, I suspect we'll find something that says cedar split.
Yes.
There
okay.
We go.
There are some examples.
Cedar split you can ignore pretty well.
Right. So let me. So we found the examples. Yes, there are a bunch of these that you're saying are not well enough defined items that would clearly match to a Wikidata
They're
item.
either species that haven't been given formal scientific names,
okay,
or it may be, and it's not in this case, but in some other cases which I've seen, rejected, or at least I've eventually decided to reject them. What it's saying is that there is a cedar species here which is a weed, or it's a this, or it's a that. And often it's a description, often it's a description of some introduced plant where nobody's been bothered to actually identify the plant to species, but they're saying it's a weed. And generally, if something's a weed in Queensland, it's probably a weed in a million other places. So this site, I guess it's useful to know if there's something in that genus that is a weed, but it typically doesn't add much to your information about the plant. So I'm not particularly interested in getting that. Ultimately, I'd.
Okay, so can I say, thank you, sorry to cut you off. I get that they might not end up matching up to specific Wikidata items. That's fine, actually. So the system for this kind of item, which is sort of real, but sort of might not match properly. The system is that you do import them because they do have identifiers. So the identifier here is 6806. And so we will import that, and it would actually be very tough to filter out exactly which ones should be in or should not be in based on some text. So the plan,
find a match or not find a match.
Yeah, so the plan is we import them all, and you'll notice that some of these catalogs actually have this red category, and red means we are not going to find a match for that. So for some reason, it's an item that doesn't work, and that means it gets assigned as a not applicable to Wikidata. And so we can do that for anything ending in SP later on down the track. We can just go through the matches and just say, nope, not applicable. And so that's an easy way of sort of filtering these out. So we'll do that at some point as well. All right, so let me return then to this search page because we we had trouble getting a full list of species. That would have been nice, but it doesn't seem like we can do that. So instead, we're going to actually try and use their category system, or their I guess, hierarchy of these taxonomic hierarchy, which ultimately, if you're a user, you click through and you eventually go through the family all the way down to the species. So we can emulate that by getting mix and match. So we're going to make a new set. Let me go up to here. So here's mix and match. It says you can create a new web scraper or catalog. So that's the plan. We click on that and it says we can add a scraper to an existing catalog. No, we don't have a mix and match catalog, but we're just going to create a new one here. So I leave the ID empty. But what I am going to do is fill out this one first, the Wikidata property. And you'll see why I choose that first in a sec. If I just copy in this text here, it's P8468. I paste that, and if I click somewhere else, it suddenly figures out how to fill in everything we need. So that was nice. It knows the catalog name, it knows the description, and it even knows the URL of the catalog itself. So that was good. It drew all of those from Wikidata itself once we said what the property was. The type, it didn't know, so we're going to choose biology or something like that, because we've got a whole list of species. And I think actually we've finished filling this catalog detail out, so that's good. Next step are these levels. So this is where the action really starts. What levels means is, for example, we are going to do something hierarchical. We are first going to query for all the kingdoms, and then maybe classes, and then maybe families, and then maybe species. And so that's one big hierarchy. And so at the first level, so the notation for that here is these levels. Let me quickly read what it says, but I think I know what the plan is anyway. It says a URL can be constructed from a static part and one or more variables called levels. So these variables, I guess, are it could be parts of the URL that all contribute to making up one big mega URL. Each level can be defined from a list of keys, right? So sometimes the database items are like A1, A2, A3, A4, and then B1, B2, B3, B4. So there we would need a key for A and then a key for B. But we would also need a range 1, 2, 3, 4 for a numeric range. So those are all possibilities. In our case, we're going to use this kind of follow method. So get URLs listed on a page and follow them, going down, down, down. And each level will do a new follow until we get to the species level. So I think that's the plan. Let me finish reading it in case there's anything else we need. No, so yeah, we'll just say, okay, so we're going to add a follow level. Here we go.
So what did you hit to get the, oh, it said add a follow level. Gotcha.
Actually, I'll delete it so you can see, yep. So just add follow level here.
Yep. And
now,
do we start at the top or do we work upwards?
We start at the top. Level 1 means the first.
So that'll be the kingdom.
The first loop that it goes through. Yes, you're right. The kingdom. Okay. Now, actually, I'm just temporarily trying to think whether I actually need one level even earlier, which is not, which doesn't have a variable at all, and I think that might actually be the case. So. So yeah, so the page we're going to start with is way back up at the top. This species search page, right? So we haven't clicked anything yet. It did have a selector bar, but actually these are the links that we're going to use to follow. So they already cover all the kingdoms. Yeah. So we can go straight into these ones, which are the classes. So that's quite nice. We can skip kingdom actually. So there's the page we start on. Mm-hmm. Here it says we need a regular expression for matching partial URLs on the page from the lower levels as the first parameter. Now, excuse my confusion if I get confused, and I'm going to occasionally try things and then go back because I haven't done this in a while, and sometimes some of this regular expression stuff is quite intense. So we'll see how we go. This one, I think that what that's saying is like if you already know one of the variables that goes into this URL, then you put in the regular expression there. But,
we don't really.
So at the moment we don't.
Pile of choices.
Yeah, that's right.
Comes at that level, and it breaks up, animals into all kinds of funny little bits, and does the same thing for plants, I think.
Okay. So now let me show you that. So we're not actually, these next two blocks, we're actually not going to go do them just yet. Those are sort of after you've figured out all your levels, but they are sometimes a little bit useful for testing whether or not you've done something right in these levels. So I'll show you what they do. Basically, once you've chosen the URL, it kind of can load that whole page and uses the values of the levels to tell you to navigate to the right page. It grabs that whole page, and within the page you find a bunch of items. So you extract those items using a regular expression block. Well, so actually usually here I just use this regular expression entry. So each entry you find, it then pulls out as a, you say in your regular expression, you say which bits of the expression that you want. So you put them in little double in brackets, and then they come out as the $1, $2 values, which then later get used to choose how you put it into mix and match. So this thing here is what eventually goes into mix and match. So that's a kind of long process. What I'll do now is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open this as a page source. So I want to look behind what all these links are and see what their kind of formats are. So if we go down the page to wherever those plants are, so here we go. Here are all the plant ones, and then here are all the animal ones, and so on down the page, right? So it's these links that we need to follow. I think I've gone past it. Okay, so it's all these links that we need to follow. And it's, what a link looks like is something like
it was the plant type first of all, because we'd need to go via the kingdoms first of all.
No, wait, we're going to do all of these.
Oh, all right.
Straight off. Yeah, the kingdom, you're right, the kingdoms. So these are the kingdoms. Oh no, sorry, these are classes. So we're going to skip straight to class, because each one we can find a pattern like this, and that'll be similar to a pattern over here, but it'll also be similar to a pattern down here. And so, so this page already can pivot us, branch us off into all of those different places. So that's the plan. We need to find chunks of code that look like something like that. And so I'll copy that for a sec. Now, the danger with scraping web pages by URLs and stuff is that actually probably there's a whole lot of things, there's a whole lot of links that we don't want to search into. I'm just going to quickly scan the rest of what this page has. It does have other stuff, but actually the format that we're looking for, this href equals question kingdom equals, I haven't seen that occurring very often elsewhere. So I think we might be
pretty safe.
I think we might be reasonably safe. So that's interesting. Check out, notice that sometimes the class has a plus in it. That might later become important. Because it's not just alphabetic, I guess is what I mean.
No, that just simply means that it's something that can't be allocated to a kingdom. So,
no, the plus is a space.
Yes, I know it's a space.
Okay, so all I'm saying is that the text format here is not necessarily just alphabetic.
Oh, got you.
There can be some characters in there, so you have to be a tiny bit careful. but I think that won't cause too much trouble. Okay, so that, well, let's go back to our scraper. So here it is. And so I need to figure out whether, oh, well, okay, let me show you the way I test something is to say, oh no, sorry, not that. If I was to put it into a regular expression entry, this is what we would be kind of catching. We would be kind of trying to catch this thing here,
yep,
maybe, or actually maybe even the kingdom equals. We might catch that whole thing, and then we might catch this name here,
yep,
right? Like something like that. Oh, but notice that thing's got brackets in it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's probably, so we would catch that by saying like something like this. It's anything not the closing, the kind of, sorry, this character here, this caret that starts a new string. So anything that is not that character could be part of this word in these brackets, and then anything that is not in here, it would be like not the quote or something like that. And so that's the kind of thing that we're eventually going to have to do from the lower levels. So I think actually we just go, I think that one had no parameters. So I think
had no what?
Parameters, like this page that we told,
No,
this
URL,
it just had that. So I think actually we go straight up to the next level, and then the next level looks something like, it looks something like this. So it'll be that whole string. Oh, sorry, where's it gone? Here we go. It'll be this whole URL, but with $1 for all of this. So whatever we found out in the first follow level, whatever bit, this bit here was the later bit of the URL string. We're going to use that to find our level 2 URL, and in the level 2 URL we'll go on with some more depth. So I'm just trying to figure out whether, I think we actually do put this regular expression up here, and we actually don't need this bit of it because we don't need to know what its title was. The regular expression matching
equals,
partial URLs on a page from the lower levels as a first try. So maybe we actually put it down there. Trying to work out where we put it, whether we put it here or there. I might just test putting it up here first.
You put the whole thing there, because part of it is the answer. You know.
Yeah, no, I can't put the answer in. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. No, so it's actually, the answer is anything that is not a quote, not a closed quote. So I think that's sort of the answer. Now,
hunting for the expressions that started with kingdom equals on that page.
As in here?
Yeah.
Kingdom equals, like that?
Yes. But it didn't form like that. There was a whole part of stuff before. Question,
yeah, you're right. ahref equals question kingdom equals stuff.
And thereafter, all of the rest of it, we'd be happy to parse, I'd say, in some sort of sense.
Yep. Okay, let me see whether that. So then actually we're going to, if we're only capturing the bit after the kingdom, then actually we're going to have to put that in here as well. So we're going to have to question kingdom equals the $1. So whatever we found in those brackets will go down in here as well into level 2 as the from level 1 value. Yeah, so that looks all right, I think. So there's sometimes a problem with question marks in regular expressions because that's a special character. So I think sometimes you have to backslash it or something like that. But what I'm wondering is, just because I can't remember whether we need to backslash it, what I'm wondering is if we search for kingdom equals, notice that only, look over here, see there's no occurrence of that anywhere else. Just all of these things always are kingdom equals. So actually the question mark bit, the ahref question mark, we actually don't need the question mark. So we can really be quite selective and just start from kingdom equals. Good. Like that.
Yep.
And that will save us worrying about whether the question mark matters or not, something like that. So, okay, I'm going to provisionally try that. My slight concern still is that this quote might be some kind of special character as well. So we might have to come back to that if it fails.
Question marky, bloody, whatever.
Yeah.
The rest of the rubbish. Yeah.
So, okay, so as a test of that, actually, what I can do is I can go down here and I can say, we think we've sorted out the level 1 scraping. I'll actually delete this level for a sec. We'll put it back soon, but imagine that we just did the level 1 scrape and we tried to find all the kingdom class pages, like, you know, it's a combined identifier, it goes all the way to class. So imagine we got the kingdom class page, and then in that page, we looked for something. So let's go to one of them. Here's a kingdom class, or let's call it a class. And then we're looking for these 2 objects inside that. So again, I need to view the source. And so the 2 objects here that we were trying to grab were both
family equals.
Yeah, like these ones, family equals. And so perhaps we would grab all of that, for example. Yep, so we might be like, the regular expression for an entry is family equals something that is not a quote, a double quote, and then this thing in here is anything that is not a closed brackets. Why
have you got the vertical bar from the start of that expression?
Not. Sorry, hang on, I'll get to that in a sec. Okay, sorry, what did you ask? Why is there a vertical bar?
Vertical bar, and then you've got not quote.
Oh, this character here?
Yes.
Actually, that's a square bracket. So in
right, I can't see.
Yeah, it's sorry. Maybe I can make your screen a bit better by zooming in on mine. There we go, something like that. So yeah, these square bracket sets are like to say what characters are allowed in the string, but what I've done is define it by what characters are not allowed by saying not the final quote.
Not a quote.
So that might work. We'll try. If we did that, so imagine we're sort of just testing our first level scrape by imagining the real items we wanted were these family items, and they were the things that we were going to put in our set. So then, for example, we might say that the identifier was this bit. Oh no, sorry, the identifier was this bit here. So that would be like $1 as the ID and $2 as the name, and then a description would be like family. yeah, family, family of Biota. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're not really doing this. So,
That sounds good.
and then the ID, it has already guessed that we want a particular URL being like ID equals $1, which will be the right answer in the end. Although it wouldn't be the right answer if we were scanning for families. So I'll just leave it for now. And then the type here is, as it helpfully suggests, is a taxon. And so that, for example, would be how we might run the whole scraper. Now, the good news is we can do a test without actually saving it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to run the test and see if we've got our first bit right. What it does in this test is it finds the first valid page and shows you in detail what it's doing on that first valid page. So where it says URL used, it's showing us the very first one it found, which was kingdom equals plants, class equals Caraficeae. How do you say that, Margaret?
I think I'd say Caraficeae.
Okay, great. So that was the page it was scanning. Now, it sometimes helps then.
Pretty good.
It helps then to grab that actual page. Oh, okay, now this is interesting. It has not found this page, it has found this one. So I don't know whether it has skipped it deliberately, but let's do that, for example. So we go into Caraficeae, and then on that class page, it should find exactly one item, which is a bit unfortunate. I prefer when it finds more than one, but notice that it says it has found 0 entries. So it at least got to the right URL, but it had this second step, this bit where I did like this thing here. It says this regular expression matches 0 entries in the HTML below. So now we have to go down and figure that out a bit.
Because we're not at the family level, but where we are now, we're actually at the
well, let me see what page it got.
That's class. Oh, hang on, that's class. So
yeah, it should be class. The good news is it shows us what it got, right? So here, this thing here, this box here is the HTML that it is looking through. And so we've got to actually look through that and see if it has done it in a really funny way, because it is possible that they have made their entire page with JavaScript or something like that, but I hope not, and I think not. So what I'm looking for is these
family is what we're looking for, aren't we?
Browse by class. Why has it got all those still? It's gone back to the bacteria and stuff. So I don't actually know what's going on this page. Okay, actually I'm going to search for the thing that I was hoping for. So let's see what is it. We were on this page. That's where it's gone to.
Yep.
And it should just have HTML like this. Actually, no, that's an old one. I'll open this page source. So it should just go down, 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 down. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so it's this word here that we want. And so it should be finding that somewhere on there. So I'm going to search, Control F, Control V. Ooh, it is not finding that. Okay, so I think what that means, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, where I saw it, it just came immediately after the family, and it's just, look, it doesn't have any fancy tiddlies about it at all.
It doesn't. Yeah. I think that this text, this HTML, looks like it is JavaScript heavy, so it's got a lot of JavaScript stuff in there. And I wonder if that means that each page is basically generated on the spot. This looks like the original page we were on, like before we went in, clicking into the next one.
Yep, yep.
So okay, I fear that this approach might have already come to a dead end, which is a good challenge for us because, yeah. All right, yeah. So I think it's hidden some stuff, and I think it's not funny. So this is a challenge for us because we're going to have to change from going down a tree of HTML pages because those HTML pages are too JavaScripty and too dynamic. I don't know quite what the real word for that is, but I think what instead we need to do is go down that tree that we saw earlier of these APIs. In particular, for example, once we know kingdom equals something, class equals something else.
It's not a big drama to actually scrape, 10 kingdoms. What it is a big drama is to scrape, 400 families.
And when you say scrape, you mean if you were trying to do it by hand?
Yeah. I mean, like if one had to start off with plantae, it wouldn't be a big drama. Or if one had to start off with, animalia, that would not, kill me. But it's just the moment you hit, that long streak of families with whatever comes after them, and hundreds of sub-entries. I mean,
totally, yeah.
And all
okay, so yeah, we don't. I agree with you. We don't want to have to do it that way. Although, I mean, ultimately, we may come to lots of dead ends and then be forced to do something somewhat manually. But I do still see a way forward here, because I think what we can do once we know the class, once we know, for example, the kingdom and the class, which we sort of did get already from the initial link, then we can pass that into this, right? And then what this is it's going to go, it's an API call here, and it's going to give us the XML back. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm choosing XML is because it's, well, actually, let me think about that. I mean, yeah, I guess we're just going to pull out the family name. That's probably all we need from each of those. But anyway, yeah, something like, oh, I see. It's got a full URL. Oh, that's cool. Oh, okay, right. So that might let us even go straight to the species URL. That is the list of species in the Hylidae or something like that. Okay, so I think that's the plan, something like that. So what we're going to do is use this kind of link. So it'll be get family names from what we had, kingdom equals animals, class equals amphibia, that kind of thing. And I think we got roughly kingdom equals something and class equals something else already. So let's go back to what we got.
Yes.
Is that roughly what we got? It got kingdom equals something and class equals something else. Yes, good. Okay, so instead of going to instead of going to this one, that was the one we had a bit of trouble with. We got back some really dynamic HTML. So instead I'm going to go to this one, which is kingdom equals $1, like this, right? So it's going to do the XML query.
Class equals $2, I take it.
No, we actually grabbed the whole of everything after kingdom in this first one. So we actually, I'll show you how I got that. But yeah, this is where we get really, you got to really remember what we. So see here on what we got from each of those links,
yes, we did
was everything up to there.
Yep, we did.
Okay, so we got both of those, I hope. I'm a little bit worried about this ampersand, but I think that's okay. It's sometimes they, I don't know, you character encode or character decode or something like that. But I think this will be okay. And so we'll test it as well. And so this test though, maybe we need something a little bit different down here. we haven't run the test. This is false. This is like from last time we did it.
Yes.
So don't worry about that
I do
error message. But now we need to look inside the XML to see what we want to extract. Like last time we tried to extract the family name, no, the family ID and then the family name. This time, let's have a look. Where's it gone? Oh, here. This time, I feel like I want to actually only extract this, because that would be quite neat if that will help us at the next level in it, is what I mean. So I think I'm going to take that and go back to here and say it's going to be in the form like this: species URL equals some stuff. And frankly, all of that stuff turns into a new query. Yeah, that query will be our kind of final answer, because that'll say 624 cyclorana. So that, yes, if we can get to that page, we'll actually be almost everywhere. So this whole link is what we want. So I'll grab that link by saying anything but the close will be our $1. Don't really have $2, so don't worry about that for now, but let's say name equals whatever we get, and then it'll be like a, well, I don't know what it'll be. It'll be it doesn't matter too much. We're really just testing the scraper. So we try that. So test scraper. Here we go. Let's see how we go with this. So I've not previously tried querying XML like this, but oh no, it says it's getting the right page. I think that's where we wanted to go. Let me just open that to make sure. Oh no, it didn't work for me either. Okay, so what's wrong here? Kingdom equals plants. Oh, it's the ampersand thing. So see how it's got it wrong there, right? It should have gone to this link without that. It should have just been like this. See, that works.
Sorry, what?
Well, the URL pattern has two ampersand. It has an encoded ampersand.
Right.
The ampersand amp.
Right.
Semicolon, in where it should just have an ampersand. So this whole thing has come because that's how we got it out the first time. When we got it out, back here. Okay. So. Sorry, just thinking briefly. I'll try and talk through my thoughts a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to do is see whether, so one option would be to, like you assumed we were doing, I could extract the kingdom as one parameter, and then as a second string matcher, I could then extract the class. Then we could put them back together differently. So here we could say kingdom equals $1, ampersand class equals $2. If we'd managed to get them out as two separate things, that might work. The problem is that I think $1 means the level 1.
Yep.
And $2 means for level 2. So I can't get 1 and 2 both out of level 1. So I think I'm not allowed to do that. Need to find a different way of doing this. So maybe we can go. Yeah, maybe we can do it. So we can go like and class equals something not So see how it's all inside the brackets here?
All right, I see. I think I see.
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if this will work either, this kind of thing. Let me just go back to what we're grabbing it from. So we're grabbing it from, oh, I see. Okay, here we go. So we're grabbing it from this HTML. And the problem is this HTML literally has the encoded ampersand amp, right? So this is actually in the raw text.
Yep.
So anything we grab, any way of grabbing this will grab that.
Yep.
So either we then need to do a kind of replacement. So we need to get it and then do some kind of replacement of the ampersand with an ampersand, or we need to get them separately. So one way of getting them separately would be to do them level by level, right? So we could get just the kingdoms, and then we could have a whole new level to get all the classes in all the kingdoms. And then we could have a whole new level to go the third step down. So we might do that if it causes us too much trouble. Because I can't actually see, this would actually look something like this. And then I don't know how to do a replacement. There's a way of doing replacements down. Oh no. Oh yeah, here. Sometimes you can, if the stuff you get out is in a sort of, you want to rearrange the format, like the classic example.
The text as we do.
Yeah, so you can do a regular expression replacement in this resolving stage, but yep. I think you can't do that up here. I don't think there is a way of doing that yet.
No, that's fine.
So that's unlucky, but basically, I think we might be stuck here. So we've hit our second roadblock. Somebody watching back will. Sorry?
You're going to give that new expression a whirl? I'd quite like to see what happens with it.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm happy to show it. Well, I think what will happen is, at best, it will grab this whole thing, and that whole thing will be exactly the same as when it grabbed the whole thing last time. It'll perform exactly the same. I think it'll have the same problem.
Oh, because we haven't done.
Because we haven't managed to.
We can't do a
replacement.
Replacement.
Yeah. So I'll try. I'll press go, and we'll see what happens. I think it'll have the same.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. Because we haven't done a replacement, so it presumably won't work. Yep.
Okay. So let's check. Yeah. So the problem is still here. It's going to the wrong URL. Which is a pity, but that's okay, not too bad. You could have, yeah, no, it's up here, it's too early. So yeah, all right, well, that was close again. We got quite close that time to actually solving the whole thing, but again, hit a roadblock. So I'm gonna go all in on these APIs, and we're gonna go to an even higher, we're actually going to start with an API, not even bother starting with this page.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with that very first API we had, which I've lost them all, but anyway, somewhere back here. So it would be like get kingdom names, right? The massive one here. And we just basically go straight to this page that has all the kingdom names. Now, oh, and it gives us straight off link to get class names. Oh, great. Okay, so this is going to be easy. I think, so it's already structured pretty well. So the first level, we've got to go back right to here. And we say that very first level, we're going to grab stuff from that, which is not that. It's not that. So I've lost my APIs. Here we go. So this is the API. This is the text that we're getting, and we just want it to call this as the next thing. So we will say, actually, what it gets out of that is the class name URL. So it's like this whole thing, which is anything but the close of the new bracket character. And so all of that will be the URL, which we will then use as a just $1 like that. That is the URL that we are then going to scrape to find. So like if we did one of them, if we did the animal one, we would get this page here, which is now got family names as its next level down. So then we'll put that in. Because I'm a bit confident with this one, I'm actually just going to go, no, okay, we'll test it properly. So here, so what we would want to get out of family names is anything but the closed character. This will become a very familiar format. Yeah, so so this should get us the family name. So this will be a family and called dummy, and it'll be a family of Biota. So let's see if that works, because I think it might, and then we're making progress. I'm always too optimistic, by the way. Kingdom not specified. Kingdom equals chromis. No, you're right. We didn't specify kingdom. Wait. Kingdom not specified. It's got the same problem. Look at this. Let's put the amp in again. So this would work if it did not do that. And it did not do that. Huh. Oh, man. Okay. So.
We've got that species search.
Okay, here I'm gonna test. So this is a bit of a Hail Mary. So here is UTF-8 encode. Usually not needed. I'm gonna test it. I thought this only worked for this last resolving bit, but let's test it as a bit of a hopeful go. So ready, set, go. If this doesn't work, and it hasn't, then I'm going to have to think of it here.
Yep.
That's quite odd, because I thought when we were getting full-on XML, I would have thought there would be no need to unencode stuff, but it has. So there's page source of the XML, and page source of the XML also has these amps like that. So this must be the thing that it's actually scraping. Wow. Oh no, it's okay. All right, okay. I have a plan. Sorry. Okay, so rather than I was cheating a bit to assume that I could go straight to here. It looks like it's giving us the actual URL that we need to go to, but it's having trouble. It's encoding that a little bit badly. What we really need from that is actually just this. Oh, and this, or whatever. Wait, where did we start with? Sorry. I mean, we went to this page.
We wanted to just go to one page with the kingdom and grab the kingdom, then possibly go to the same page again and grab the.
Okay, so let's, on that first step, rather than grabbing the whole string, let's just get the word animals out, because the rest we can write the URL ourselves. We don't need to use their ampersand. We can get our own ampersand. So I'm gonna, now what's weird here is they're using the common name, but anyway, that's okay, I suppose. So the kingdom equals common name.
Oh, well,
common name all the way down. So this is the one we need to extract. We won't grab the whole URL. We'll just grab the. What have I done wrong?
Common name. We want the scientific name.
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Not yet. Once we get to the final specimen, then we will want the. So far, we're just trying to navigate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
at the moment,
I just was wondering, I mean, if something hasn't got a common name, it could be in strike, that's all.
all right.
You know, they've all-
Luckily, all the
got
kingdoms have it.
names. They've all got common names.
All the kingdoms have common names. That's all we need so far. We're getting the kingdom's common name, and then we're going to make the full URL of the next level out of that. So this is the URL.
Excellent.
It'll be like this, but we're going to make kingdom equals animals. So let's do that. So that we go, instead of $1 being there, we have $1 here. So that is now going to the kingdom page and getting class names, and then it'll get family names out of that. So we'll test that expression. I don't know if I need encoding, so let me just say test while it's ticked, but then we might untick it and see again. Now, did we have, yes, we had success. Right, so this is the first ever match. We've got 16 entries.
Okay.
Because in animals, there must be six.
We see them.
Yeah, we'll see them in just a sec, sorry. So within animals, we should have like this one and then this one and then this one. Okay, so yeah, I hope
That looks promising, yes.
it's definitely promising. So we should have, what we've asked for at the moment is the string URL, but I'm going to change that in a minute because we've learned that they're not very good at making URLs, or we're not, or something. So so we're going to do it ourselves.
What we've got, Toby.
Yeah, okay, I'll show you down the bottom. So what the ID we pulled was the entire URL.
Right.
And yes,
what's wrong with those?
What's wrong with them?
They look very much like what we had before.
They do, but I bet if we pass them, yeah, you're right, they look okay, but I'm pretty sure we'll run into the same problem.
Animalia, I think we probably don't want the common name, but who cares? At least the structure's right.
No, I promise we needed to do it this way. So the reason is if you type in, if we had tried, let's see, I'll test it. So imagine if we'd gone to the URL of the true formal name, right? It fails because this is not a kingdom. At least it's not a kingdom in their methodology. Sorry, I just hung up on them. Oh, excuse me, I'll just tell my work what I've done. Sorry, I'll just go mute for a sec. Okay, back on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Excellent, sorry. So yeah, have I convinced you that their structure, their URL structure or their query structure is happening to always query common names at this stage? Right. Later on, they might switch to identifiers, but yes, I think
I didn't spot that at all.
Okay, now
beautiful. Okay.
It says, hang on, it's giving me an error message. Wait, I've got some. Oh, there we go. Okay, so so that's a little bit strange, but for now, that's what they're doing. So we'll deal with that. So in this animals page, so far what we've requested is this URL string, but oh look here, now they switch. Now the classes, they switch to using the real class name, not the common name.
Yep.
See that?
Yep, I did.
And what's even stranger is that they've capitalized it differently. So I wonder if we extract this one, we'll have a capital A in it, but I wonder if the link will work because the lowercase
A. Important, is it?
Well, in the link, it may. So this is what we're hoping to get. That's the page they want us to link to. But imagine if we constructed that out of the class name. Oh, good. Okay, that is going to work. So we can grab it from. Oh no, not that one. We can grab it from. Not that one either. We can get it from the class name bracket here, and we can feed it into a get species call. So that could work as well. Hey, wait up. How can you get species straight from the class? I thought there was a whole family level.
Well, what do you mean? Why do you think you're getting speaking straight from the class?
Oh, it is. No, yeah, it says get family names. Yeah, that's what we're doing next. Okay. All right, so we need a whole level. Okay, so but it's sort of.
We're moving along though.
So yeah, so I'm getting quite confident now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to add a range level.
Yep.
Oh no, not a range level. Another follow level. Sorry. Yep. Okay, and so this follow level, we're going to use. I actually need to put in this. I'm going to move this up to. This is the URL we're going to use. Yep. So we get the kingdom name out of there. We put it in here. We do the XML, and then from that, from that we get the class name. So we need to. It's this chunk that we're going to extract from that page, and so that chunk is everything but the close, the open bracket, like this, like not. So that's a very common closing thing that we're going to use a lot. Okay, so that will then give us we'll have a kingdom name and we'll have a class name. So we can construct a URL, and the URL is, we're going to want it like this. It's going to be like that. And it'll be that with the kingdom equals $1 and the class equals $2. And then
you haven't put in $2. Ah, there we go.
Didn't I?
But you did. It's just
okay. Slow. Okay. So then, for example, if we went to that class page, then we would check out the family names. Probably not URL. No, we would want on that class page. We would get. Wait, let's do that. So here's that one. We would get like the
family name. Oh, we've got to do
URL maybe.
Hang on.
Oh no, sorry, the family
name, common name apparently.
It's not the common name.
All right. Okay. So
it's this word that we want, and so we could get it out of this one here. So yeah, we could get it out of family name. So we'll do that, and I'm not even going to test it actually. Like we could do it there.
Yep. No.
But I'm going to be really brave and go another follow level.
Beautiful.
So this one here, this URL pattern goes here. It has kingdom equals whatever came from level 1. And it has class equals whatever came from level 2. And then inside that page, we are getting
family name.
Yeah, this thing here. So it goes like this, family name, and then this one.
Same
thing. Not the open bracket. Okay, so that then skips us right down. I think we're nearly close to being able to do it, because then we would go to this link, get species. Oh, that's weird. This time we forget the kingdom, we forget the class, we just use that family that we'd worked out, which I suppose is okay. As long as there's no families that are both trees and fish. But anyway, hopefully not. So that gives us a species, just one. It looks like in that case, there was just one species.
That'd be great. It's just one, which should be.
Normally we'll want more than one. But maybe the Acanthuridae only had. Maybe that's just has one, so that's okay. But I think we would normally go for like however many species there are, I guess, in the family. But anyway, that's fine. So I think we're just going to say $3 there. So like the family name that we extracted here gets our URL, makes our URL string. And then inside that, we're going to extract something, which is now like, okay, we're going to extract
taxon ID.
Yeah, that, and then also that. And then, I don't know, maybe those 3 lines, or maybe those 2. probably
one
all.
for description and the other two bits, right?
Yeah, yeah. I guess we'd like all those, and we've still got family name already, so we don't need to go all the way down to here or something.
No.
So yeah, let's grab those 3 lines. The bigger the stuff you grab, the harder it is to get the string, get the regular expression right. But hopefully we'll be right. So just as a check, notice that the taxon ID here is the same as the taxon ID here. This is the one we're going to grab, but lucky they're the same because otherwise we'd be in trouble. So yeah, that all looks good. So the entry is like this. So we're going to get the common name, and I guess common names will never have these crazy brackets in them, so that's fine. Well,
They can have blanks in them.
Not crazy bracket. Anything but a crazy bracket is fine. Now here there's a space. Remember there was actually a whole line break in there. Well, yeah, they were appearing on different lines, right? These.
Oh, so they were. Yep.
So a space is not really quite the same as line break. So what I'm going to do is down here say compress white spaces, because that means that a new line will become just a space, which is recommended because it makes regular expression easier. So that's good. So we'll do that, and then just live with our space. I need to also replace this one. Now this one should be a number. So we can go like this. We can instead insist that it's a whole lot of digits, like this, or maybe even like that. So we're requiring this identifier to be a number. You could actually still use this thing that we've been doing with the brackets, because I think the website will always have the taxon ID will always be a number, but we're being a little bit fussy to make sure it is. So let's grab that. So now we've got 3 strings. So we've got the number, we've got the sorry, further back. We've got the number back here. For the number, we've got the scientific name, and then we've got the common name. 3 things should come out of this. And so then now I'll be a little better at this. So the ID will still be the first one that comes out. The name will be the second one that comes out. And now we'll say like it's a species of, and it could be in species in the family $L3, something like that. The family.
L3.
Oh yeah, let me show you that in a sec. So L3, it's because we're not, these 2, 1 and 2, were referring to the most recent regular expression we did. It was like it's in the scraper. It's not in the levels. So we got number 1, number 2, and number 3 all out of that. Number 1 went to the ID, number 2 went to the name. But this third thing I want, this family, we didn't actually scrape out of this chunk. We got it earlier. We got it on level 3. So we actually have to say the value for the current level is the family name. We can say species in the family something. We can even say also known as or common with a common name and that is now $3. So the reason for
what about the species name? Where are you going to put that?
That's in the item name. So that's the thing to be matched.
I see. We're at a particular level at this point.
We've gone all the way to, we've found all the species.
Yep.
Species. And those names are what will, on our mix and match set, that's what it will be called as its item. The reason to go to good lengths to get a good description is because when the matching happens, well, actually, to be honest, with species, the name really does mean the whole thing almost. Like this name is the scientific name, so it will pretty much match most items.
You do get to the same
you do
genus name over different
But this is not genus names. This is even the
Yeah,
species
no,
name.
no. But I mean, for species names, we're fine in general.
We hopefully 99% of cases will be good. And so those matches will be actually really easy, I hope. But in principle, if you're setting up one of these mix and matches for other things, like non-biological things, the name and the common name both matter. And I don't know, other stuff might matter. You want to say,
because it can be really, really difficult.
It could be a mountain in Queensland, or it could be a mountain in Canada. And so it really, really helps to put as good a description as you can in this to help the human, the poor sod who has to go through it at the end and try and actually do the matching. Because what we're doing is just setting up a set which can be matched. Anyway, let's have a go, because I think we're really close. So there's our full description. Now, the URL, we just do have to check. This was the URL it assumed, and it is correct, because our number 1 is indeed our ID. Yep. But sometimes when you do one of these mix and match sets, you actually extract the ID from, say, like the third item on, say, like here, if they appeared in a different order, and so the ID was third on the list, then ID would be $3. But we would also need to change it down there, because we really do need ID equals $ something. In our case, the order it came in is the same order we want, so we don't have to change that. But that is a trick for new players, because it can mess up your whole set if and there's also no check on this one. I think once you press go, you find out after you've pressed go, rather than anyway. So let's do a test, because I think we're in good shape here. So this test now should find us just the first successful scraped page. Oh no, it's not letting us. Okay, so what it tried to do was get family equals $3, but it didn't do a proper replacement on the $3. So, okay, so we're not finished yet. I was getting too hopeful. This is the story of my life programming. I'm always a little bit too hopeful. Family equals $3. So it just didn't know what $3 was. So let's go back here. That's $3. And I thought we would get it from here.
Is that $3 though?
This says $3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm getting confused between the levels and the number of parameters we got. Because in the final level, we had 3 parameters, and you numbered them 1, 2, 3.
Oh no, that was different. No, that's out of this scraped thing. We pulled out 3 things out of the final scraper file. But earlier, now we've got to go much earlier, because actually it has failed to get the page. It tried to type in a literal $3, and so it failed to get any HTML at all, because this string is not a real thing. There is no $3 page on this website. So for some reason, the $3 didn't go in. Now that occurs here, right? So that's what we're asking for, the URL pattern. Now use the level values to construct the URL to be scraped. That's exactly what we want to do. And so then we're going to define how to get the stuff out of it. But we're having trouble with this line here. What it says is a URL pattern with $1 for the value of level 1, $2 for the value of level 2, etc., which I think means $3 should be the value of level 3, which it should have come from here. So it looks correct to me. What is wrong?
Should we drop our last level and see whether it's got our family name?
I mean, I could say, let me just do this as a test. I think this is not a, I think this is incorrect, but it could be already thinking of this as L3, like it does down here. So in the resolve bit, you call it L3. You call this thing here, you call it L3. So maybe already it thinks it's called L3. I don't think that's correct, but sure, we'll try it. Let's test it and see what happens. Just this scraper. If this works, I think we should send in a suggestion. No, okay, it's not replacing the 3 at all. All right, it's not replacing the dollar thing at all. It's now, okay, but here, okay, as a test, I want to do this. This is wrong, definitely wrong, but let's imagine we wanted the value from level 2. So imagine we wanted the class name in this family equals class name. I know that's really dumb, but let's say we did.
Let's see what
then I think at least I should be returned. Well, I think at least the $2 should be replaced. So let's test this scraper, and so we'll see a string, a real HTML, a real URL string that has the wrong. It has the class instead of the family or something like that. Yeah, look, so family equals amphibia, right? So that's bad, but it has at least the
family which we were after.
At least the replacement worked. No, amphibia is not the family.
Oh, amphibia is not. No, it's not family.
So it's the class.
It's a class.
Yeah. So I took it as $2.
But it's working. Yes.
It's working.
So working to that level.
Yeah, which means I believe we found a bug actually, which is amazing.
We need.
But I wonder if there's another way around this. Let's keep working on this because that's amazing. Yeah, it's this etc. If the etc. was true, then we'd be home and hosed, I think.
You might have just got too many levels.
What we want is 3. Yeah, we want $3. Okay, now, so when you're going around bugs, you could get creative. Okay, let's try this. This is really strange, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this one down here to level 4. And then I'm going to do I want to put in a level which does nothing. It just, and then I'm going to switch this one to $4 and see if that works, because that would be nice. But I need a level that does nothing. Oh, right, and you can do a level that does nothing by like going, here's a key level, and it'll go up by 1, so it'll be and I'll delete that one. So, okay, so here's a key level. It's key A, or it doesn't matter, like something that'll only do 1 of. And then I'm not even going to use that key. I'm not even going to use that level, because this one still says $1 and $2.
Yep.
It does not bother with, it does not bother using level 3.
Yep.
And but now it will be called something different. It'll be called level 4. So down here it might, if we're really lucky, it might work.
If we're really lucky.
Yeah.
This is very hopeful act, I reckon, Toby.
All right, okay. Well, see, this is what you get when you ask me to do something.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed with your
ingenuity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, yeah, all right. So it has failed. Okay, so I'm convinced that as you are already, that it does not know about the
sort of there, and we're not there.
So okay, so next.
Let's say what we've done.
No, wait, we can still do this, believe it or not. We're getting really close. So I'm going to delete that level. That was a good try, but it's failed. Okay, here's the way we're going to do the Ooh. No, sorry. My idea was skip level 1 by specifying all possible kingdoms.
Oh, right. So you're thinking it'll only go to a depth of 2.
Yeah. We've got it. Depth of 2 works. So we've got to make it work for depth of 2. We actually came really close to doing depth of 2 right at the start when we did kingdom and class together. Right, if we can do that again.
We could specify the kingdom. I mean, really, we don't have to search for it.
The problem is, so one way of specifying it would be to do this. Like we could go, here's the keys. One of them is animals. One is plants. One is something else, right? So we could put them all in as like our level 1. Problem is, it probably still counts as a level 1.
Right.
And so it doesn't skip. That was my genius and then disappointment, because I realized it would work, but it wouldn't skip. It wouldn't help us to actually skip over this. So what we actually have,
because it's a different way of doing it. I mean, the others are 2 sets of follows, so it may be a problem in the following.
I understand your thought, but I'm pretty sure that this is not a problem with the follows. I think this is a problem with this word here, the etc. It just hasn't been implemented. So I think we have to come out with $2. We have to know the family by the end of $2. And so we have to get all of the class names by the end of level 1. So this one I think we can do as well, because we're actually going to have to.
We are happy to dive in at that level, I think.
Yeah. So
it's not a big drama to run through.
But we have to set it up in the mix and match. So I think what we want to do is grab this page. Now this is a bit strange, but because this page already skipped it for us, we can almost get it from here. So remember this here, like this stuff here, all of this dense information here was giving us both the plant and the kingdom and the class in one go. And I think those will be our keys. If we list all of these blue ones all the way down to here, if we list them as keys for our new mega level 1, then we'll be able to combine what we currently have as level 1 and level 2. We'll be able to combine them into just a key level 1. So, okay, this is weird. I've never done this before, but I think it'll work. So we're working around a bug, and we're going to give Magnus great praise for his tool, but we're going to have to submit a bug report, I think, because the level 3 is not working, and we've got recording to show it. So that's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so I'm copying this text. What's the best way? I mean, I can just dump it all in, and we can wait. No, there must be a better way. I really just want the bits that say that, or like even that. But we're going to have to manually replace the ampersand with a single ampersand. Yeah, all right. So these are different. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna have to share a different screen with you, because I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna paste it into, I don't know, Notepad. Yeah, let's go Notepad, and we're gonna just have to delete chunks. Okay, so I'm gonna share this. This is new thing, a new share. And it's Notepad. Here we go. So there it is, messy. And so we're going to edit, replace. Can you see the replace box?
I can see. Yep, it's sweet.
Okay, so We're going to replace things like UL with nothing. Replace all. We're going to replace things like LI with nothing. We're going to replace yeah, I mean, there's still more. So
You've
we'll
classed
replace
section comparison. You could
/a /li with nothing.
Oh, look at that.
It's getting a bit better, is it? Yeah, yeah, we can delete some of these chunks on their own. That's fine. I did wonder whether we should do this all in Excel instead, but anyway, we'll delete that chunk.
You're going nicely, I reckon.
We're going all right, yeah. Delete that.
Very impressive.
Delete that. All right. So the first bit, we can get rid of this. Oh, actually, we could
get rid of the ahref equals. Yep.
Oh, you know what we can here? Look, let me show you what I really want to do. We can get amp, and we can put ampersand.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Replace all. That is what we really needed to change. And then so then back here, let's go back here. So what are we doing? We're going to go ahref, because what we really want is just a key equals the question mark kingdom equals. Yeah, okay, we'll replace that with nothing. Okay, so now the slight problem is we haven't put new lines in everywhere we need them, so I'm going to have to manually make some new lines, and I'm going to do that here and here.
Oh, very beautiful.
Getting a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Oh,
tell me if I make an error. Ah, energy.
It's only a few lines to fiddle with.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll make it. Uh-oh, what's happened here? Oh, here, it's happened in the middle of a word.
No. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's just here. The bracket. I was looking for a bracket, but there was no bracket to use.
Beautiful. Animals, hooray.
So something happened funny there, but it's a UL. Yeah, never mind that. That one doesn't matter. So what is it? Animals now? Here and here. Oh, birds are short. High vowels.
Animals.
All right, we're going. We're so close now. Again, I'm getting hopeful.
You've got one. Yep, well done.
Got it. Yeah, nearly there.
I didn't imagine it was going to be anything like as tricky as this.
You what? Sorry?
I didn't imagine it was going to be anything like as tricky as this.
Well, you know what? Every single one that I've ever done has posed new and weird challenges. And yes, it's the most complicated thing that I know about on Wikidata to make a scraping set. So once you know this, you know everything as far as I can tell. Oh, what have I done there? No, this is a status. Yeah, there we go.
You're fine.
Now I'm fine, I think. Yeah. Okay. And fungi.
Move that.
Status.
ULs too when you're through.
Yep, should get rid of the ULs. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, you're saying we can strip off the ULs, but I think actually we need to hand delete a bunch of stuff as well. So replace.
We'll just do that.
Sure. Okay, so now actually we only want up to here.
Spelt molds.
What's wrong?
Look how they're spelt molds. Slime molds.
Where is it? MOLDS?
Second line from the bottom.
Oh yeah?
They've used an American spelling and not a You know,
Okay.
spelling, which is sort of odd.
So I feel like we're meant to delete like this. But I'll just do it. Won't be too bad. If I were in Linux, I would have considered doing a regular expression replacement.
Yep.
Even on this text file, but we're close. And oh, that's interesting. So that's got the plus in it, but I think that's right. That's what we need as our key, including the plus. That's fine, I think. So nearly there.
Oh,
so we're going to have
hand editing.
Yeah, hand
And
editing.
you're doing it, not me.
Yeah, you'll do the next one. All right. Now that I've trained you up.
I always freak when I'm doing this because it's just so full of the possibilities of error.
Well, then yes, then you should use the regular expression replacements. But I am not in the right operating system to know how to do it. I'm sure you can do it in Windows, but I just don't know how. All right, here we go. Nearly there. Halfway, am I?
Yep, you're nearly there.
Now, what are your bets on whether this is going to be roadblocked as well? We've hit 3 roadblocks, yeah, so far. Two were related to ampersands or something, and then one was, we think, is a bug, a level 3 bug. Now, what do you reckon?
I have no idea. I'm looking forward to where we go. I'm impressed by your happiness to just keep on going.
I messed up. Hang on, undo that. There we go. Just as you said, I was keep on. Made a mess of it. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is common for me to hit roadblocks and try and figure them out. So that's all right. I bet this recording is going to be enormous. When we record 1-hour tutorials, it already stretches our software. So
doesn't.
So this is going to be a big
so
one.
This is the uni recording, is it? I mean, you're using university.
We better not get that recorded on tape.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay, done. So that is our new list of identifiers. And I will switch share back. So new share back to the
level 1.
Just got to find my browser. Where's my browser? Where is it? Screen. Oh, here. Okay, got it. Right, so here you go, share. And we're pasting this as a whole new level. So I will put as a keys level. Here it is. Keys level like that. And I'm going to move it right up to the top because it is going to replace 2 of our other levels.
Oh, cute.
So plants equals and class equals. Handy but slow. Okay, so there you go. So
as you moved it up the levels, I thought.
Oh, that is well programmed. Yes. Okay, so now we've got the kingdoms, so we can delete that level. We've got the classes, so we can delete that level. And now the family name is calling. Let's see. Get family equals. No. Oh, look, not quite. It's not this. It's just this. We take that out. Because now $1 represents both the kingdom and the ampersand and the class and the equals and the actual class.
Yes, it
so
does.
That's fine.
And
so that should work. And then we can get the family name, which is now $2. So we've successfully got it down to 2.
Oh, what a smarty britches you are.
And so maybe this will work. Yeah. What do you think the odds are?
That's really neat. Just getting it to 2 levels, Toby.
Well, don't congratulate me yet.
Let's see it may not work. I still reckon what it's done is.
All right, ready, set, go. Let's see. Test is running. Oh no, $2 it does not like. It has not replaced it.
Doesn't like our family name at all, does it? Have we got a correct expression in there?
Okay, I'm going to try.
Are we in the right thing? I mean, like.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, like
Didn't I test it already?
Using the API, and at another stage we were using something or other else.
Okay, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to say $1 instead, which now should use this if it works the way I think it works. There's this scraper. Maybe we should make a fake level 3.
Oops.
Yeah, that's right. Though that's what I thought it would do. Okay. So here's my next idea. So maybe all of that collapsing levels was in vain, because maybe the problem is not with the etc. Maybe the problem is with the end. It goes up to, maybe it counts 0, 1, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3. So maybe it'll count like this, and now if we use $2, it'll work. Haha, I don't know. Let's try. This may not work at all, but it's an idea. Get species family $2. No, that did not work. Okay, so I'll scrap that idea. Let's see if it is doing the right.
We could drop that level with the family name. And
I'm going to paste that. I'm going to replace the $1 with one of our examples. And I'll take the first example just in case it's worried about that. So I'll put that in here. And then it should be getting the family name out of there. So that worked when we did it further down. Okay, so when we did it here, done. Never mind. Okay, so when we were testing stuff by putting it here, it worked better. So I wonder if I take this, get family names. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this and actually I'll undo what I just did and save that as a, because I think we have done it the way that I.
Hardware there. It'd be good to save where we are.
Yeah, now that I don't know how to do, so I'm going to just save some of these strings. Previously, I've taken some screenshots and things like that, but but not today. So yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm just replacing, instead of level 2, I'm going to do it as though we were scanning level 2, and then I get like $1 and then $dummy. And oh, this shouldn't work. Level 3 isn't there anymore.
We don't have any of those.
Anyway, okay. Well, I'll just leave all that at the moment. So
beautiful.
We'll fix all that later. ID, yeah, not really, but okay. So let's just test that. So this should, I think this should work, but not give us the right thing. Yeah. So that's the page, yeah, Kingdom Plant, and so it's going in the right thing. And then from this, it should be extracting Oh, family name. It should be extracting as its item.
So that's good. At least we're.
Oh no! Look! Oh goodness gracious!
What's that?
Wait. Well, this is wrong because this star should be out there. I hope that wasn't the only problem. Oh, it was too. Oh my goodness. So maybe this was I just put the star in the wrong place.
And what's the star doing?
The star. Oh, sorry. I should have explained. Regular expressions. The star means like many of these. So the brackets say what you're allowed to have, and I've said not a bracket. But then the star says we can have many not brackets. So we can have as many not brackets as we like, making up a string.
In between the.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we've now I just want to put back. Well, I can test that, I suppose. Okay, we'll test that. I hope that worked. But then I'll put back in the one that I just took out. So for
that looks
cannot believe it. That
looks good.
Okay. So Magnus, I take back everything I said. Your system is looking
probably go back to
perfect.
your first
Perfect. So yeah, if I could go back, I would. But instead, I'm going to paste these again. So this goes there, and this goes here. And we want to, so that's getting $2 now, and there really will be a $2.
Brilliant.
Because the $2 will be this one, I hope. Right, maybe it just failed to find a match, and so it was like, oh well, I'll just leave the $2 where it is, call it $2 because I don't know what it's called. Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, so now we need a name, which is.
It didn't get to the other bit.
Because you. And the family, what's the family called? So the family is called L2. L2, the common name of $3. And that's still correct, and that's still correct. Okay, so let's test that. Ready, set, go. Wow.
Amazing.
Let's see. Then we've done 2 roadblocks. No good. It's going to the right place though. This is good. Because there's no $3 problem anymore. So it's just a problem with
we haven't got our
on this page. Let me go to that page because I don't think we've looked at the goniotrichase before, but we're meant to be collecting these 2. Okay. So this guy does not have a common name.
No.
So it's failing to detect this pattern because we insisted that the pattern should have a common name.
I'm dubious about that, I have to say. Okay. I do know that everything has a scientific name, but mostly
got it. Okay, so
don't have common names.
So this was the problem. So okay, we could have like a question mark around this about, if it's got 1, bring it in. If it doesn't, leave it. But I think actually we'll just go with this an even simpler,
I think that's probably
less. So we'll just go like that. Yeah.
Because we
with species matching.
We possibly want to say it's in the kingdom, blah blah blah. Because,
oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay,
I'll do that.
I'll come back to that. Let's just see if this works,
yeah.
and then we haven't saved it anyway.
But I mean, given that you were talking about descriptions, there are. It can be quite tedious with being, the genus name being at the same genus in Plantae and Animalia and whatever. Okay. So
interestingly, it didn't work though. So it's got the right XML, and we just need to get this pattern right. So we're really close now. We've just got to get this pattern out, and for some reason it didn't detect that pattern either. So let's go back up. Oh, I know. There's no space. Look, it has. You know how I said there were end of lines between?
Yes.
Well, this one has no end of line. In fact, it doesn't even have a space. So actually, I'm going to just take that space out.
Good move.
In this gap here.
Yeah.
So I think, and now look, this regular expression, now it matches 4 entries. So this will work.
Good.
to get four results, and we'll just pause at that point. Now it has found more than 4.
Aren't you just too brilliant?
Wait. We've got to pause here. First of all, why did it say there were 4? And oh no, 7. Now it says there's 7. Okay. So should there be 4 or should there be 7? Because look, these.
No, that's right.
Well, what's this one?
Well, I bet you'll find it's Bangia species.
It's the genus?
You know, it's part of the stupidity of this particular website.
Structure, yeah. These are the ones you told me you wanted to ignore up front.
It's what the website says, and it's just wrong, and
okay.
you never match it. So there's not a drama.
But
it's done. You've done it perfectly.
Okay.
Toby.
So
you can't exclude human stupidity. That's how it is.
Okay, so the page that here we go. 7 species were found.
Yeah.
And we found all 7.
You found them all.
And Bangia and Porphyra were included.
Yeah.
And then even these superseded taxonomies are included,
oh, that's bullshit.
Which is fine.
I think they're hedging all bets.
Okay. So it's looking all right.
Superseded at all.
Now, I think you said you wanted more than just the family. So I'm going to go up here and say...
I think if you put in the kingdom, it would be
here.
Good.
So do we know the kingdom?
Your explanation.
Oh, you know, I've messed up that because remember we skipped first level. So we did the L1s.
Oh, right.
When I collapse them, the L1s look like this.
Well.
Here. Hey, okay, this gives a great, actually, let's do it. Because this gives us a great opportunity to show off something. A replacement.
Yep.
And so in kingdom class $L1. Now here is where we do the trick. So we're going to fix up values. We're going to match something and replace it with something else. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this bit here
and get rid of it.
And then, where's it gone? It's in this one here. Matching is that, and replacement is a space.
Yep, that'll be beautiful.
Okay, so let's try that. Test this scraper. All right, that's worth showing off. It sometimes just helps. Oh yeah, here we go. So in kingdom class, plants, brachio. Should I put a slash?
Replace with a slash.
Okay, replace with a slash. And here it is. That is now a slash. All right, so test that as well. Now notice you could have problems even after this first test. The first test has only really dealt with the first of the first of the first in all those follow levels. But I think this database is pretty well structured, so I'm expecting it to work from here on.
And that's as good as you want, and frankly,
that is as good as I want.
That
you should,
or whatever is really annoying, but it's an annoyance.
So it's important to test these links. We just did test one. I'll test one more for just to check. But because sometimes for example, if you didn't, you were supposed to not use $1 and you did use it or something like that, it could mess up the link, and it would look all perfect here, but the actual link would be wrong. So but we are, that worked. So I think that we're all set to press save. So I'm going to have one long run from the top just to make sure everything is all right. Once you press save, you don't have much more chance of fixing it. And so if you've made an error, you may have to ask Magnus to deactivate the whole catalog and replace and do all of this work all over again to make a new one. So it's worth one final check. The name is fine. this is a bit of a blah blah. We should put Australia somewhere. So
they're not
taxon,
necessarily Australian taxa because they include weeds. So,
yeah, but it's in a Queensland government Australia. Like that, is that all right? It'll just help people searching stuff.
And
URL is, what's that for? That's for the whole, oh yeah, that's for the whole set. So if someone wanted to click on that, then property we got right. English language, that's fine. Let me check this one. Is there a taxa or something? No, that's just biology. Okay, that's fine. Levels, we've worked hard on that. We got it all right, I think, in the end. So the lesson was we really could have done our 3-level thing. This was a waste of time, but it helped us to get around.
It's still good to
It helped us to realize.
I mean, you must have run the gamut of all of the different pieces you can do.
Test this. Okay, so I'm ready to save. Yeah, are you ready?
Go for it.
Happy? Have you spotted any other errors? Okay, let me press save.
Only.
All right. So now, look, it puts one message, right? That's all it does. Now, sometimes it says, no, there's a problem. And the problem is something like, oh no, I think usually it works. I think sometimes when you're importing a list, which was our option right back at the start, we thought, oh, maybe we could get a list from the website and just import the whole list into a catalog. Mm-hmm. That sometimes throws up an error if you have 2 lines on your list which have the exact same ID or the exact same name and description or something like that. And so sometimes there's a stage where you have to do a little bit of testing. But anyway, this one says it was successful. So now I can open up the catalog in a new window. Notice I did not close that window, that tab.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I'll tell you why in a sec,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very important to open this in a new tab and preserve this one, because if you are going to edit it, you only have until you close this tab, as far as I can tell. I think there are some people who have access to edit later, but yeah, so this is how it shows up. At the moment, you get scared by all these nans, not a number, but that's okay, because it says it appears to be empty. Maybe the initial scraping is still running, and indeed that is happening, so we're okay. That could take, as it says, it could take, what does it say? Hours, minutes, hours, days in rare cases. So I'm not super worried, but
you want to hit the refresh?
I will hit refresh, yeah. So so hopefully after a few minutes or hours, it will come good. So thanks very much, Margaret. I might stop the, do you have any final comments before I stop the recording?
I'm exhausted. I don't know about you. I'm going to have to, when you get the video, whatever,
yeah.
Send us a link.
Okay, I will. So on that note, thanks anyone who's bothered to watch all the way through this whole thing. I'm going to stop the recording. Goodbye, farewell. I'll see you at another time.
Toby. That was really, really fantastic.